How did your parents fail you? My mom chose keeping the peace with my stepdad over protecting me. He moved in when I was 12 and immediately started criticizing everything I did. My grades weren't good enough, my room was never clean enough, and I was too sensitive when I got upset. Mom would just stare at the floor during his lectures, picking at her nails or suddenly finding something interesting on her phone. When he'd finally leave the room, she'd whisper, "He's just trying to help you succeed," or "Don't take it so personally." Once, after I got an A- instead of an A+ on my science project, he spent the entire dinner listing all the careers that were now closed off to me. Said I clearly didn't have what it takes to be a doctor or engineer. Mom just nodded along, occasionally giving me that weak smile that meant, just get through this. When I tried talking to her alone about how much his criticism hurt, she'd sigh and say, "He just wants what's best for you," or "That's just how he shows he cares." But the thing is, he never acted that way toward his own kids when they visited. They could get C's and he'd ruffle their hair and say, "Better luck next time, kiddo." I started spending more time in my room with the door locked, started making up after-school activities just to avoid coming home. My friends' parents would comment on how polite I was, how I always offered to help with dishes. They had no idea I was just stretching out my time away from home. The breaking point came during my 16th birthday dinner. I'd been looking forward to it for weeks because Mom promised I could pick the restaurant. Chose this little Italian place where the chef knew my name from when Dad was still around. My stepdad complained about the parking, then about the menu prices, then about how the music was too loud, even though we could barely hear it. Then he started picking apart my college plans in front of everyone. My best friend, my cousin, even my favorite teacher who Mom had invited as a surprise. He said I wasn't disciplined enough for pre-med and should aim lower. Said I didn't have the focus or drive to handle a demanding major. I looked at Mom, silently begging her to say something. She just squeezed my hand under the table and changed the subject to the dessert menu. That quiet surrender hurt worse than anything he ever said. In that moment, I realized she would never stand up for me. That night, I called my grandma crying. I couldn't even get all the words out between sobs. 3 days later, I moved in with her. Mom begged me not to go, tears streaming down her face, said things would get better. But for 4 years, she'd chosen his comfort over my mental health. 4 years of letting him chip away at my self-confidence while she watched. The crazy part? After I left, Mom started calling daily, saying she missed me so much, asked about my classes, my friends, whether I'd met any cute boys. But she never once acknowledged why I left or apologized for not standing up for me. She still wanted me to play happy family at holidays like nothing happened. Still invited me to family dinners where he'd sit at the head of the table, looking disappointed when I talked about my psychology major. My grandma told me something I'll never forget. Sometimes the people who should protect you the most are the ones who let you down the hardest. She never pressured me to forgive Mom, just gave me the space to heal. I'm 21 now and barely speak to my mom. We talk maybe once a month, and it's always surface level. She sent me a card last Christmas saying she wishes we were closer. She still doesn't understand that by trying not to rock the boat with him, she capsized our entire relationship.